Hello everyone, my name is Strange and I believe that people should know the truth. We continue to publish materials regarding the alien ship. If you haven't seen the beginning of this scary story yet, then the link to it is hanging at the top of the screen. As always, in order to ensure the safety of our sources, all names have been changed and the documents have been given an artistic color. And so I'm starting. It was a huge spaceship or an abandoned alien station. I couldn't tell for sure. I was just walking along an abandoned giant corridor. It seemed that a disaster had recently occurred that claimed the lives of giant aliens overnight. I did not know and could not answer the question of what had happened. Everything seemed absurd, but the feeling of captivity, of being detached from the earth, pressed down like an ice block. The corridor was colossal. The walls were covered with devices I didn't understand and decorated with frescoes depicting various creatures. It is quite possible that these were representatives of the flora and fauna of their home planet. In the bluish light, a huge painting stood out especially. It's like the story of the creation of a world or an entire planetary system. On the smooth wall, interspersed with many dots, was a large sphere, next to which two smaller spheres were depicted. It's like a planet and its two moons. An association came to mind that this is Mars with its two moons, Phobos and Deimos. Intuitively and enthusiastically, I touched the sphere. A blue light hit my eyes, as if I had fallen into a wall, and myriad images swam before my eyes, among which I tried to pick out and comprehend the most vivid ones. There were 4 spaceships approaching the blue planet, orbiting 2 moons, a large one and a small one, and they were truly grandiose. Ivory white, streamlined and majestic. Such ships could only belong to a fair intergalactic alien race that sowed life throughout the universe. Such associations arose in my brain at the sight of these ships, but this was just one of the images. The next one showed the same ships, but smashed to pieces, burning, collapsing in space. A black elongated ship was moving past them towards the planet. One of the moons was also destroyed. Its fragments rushed to the surface of the planet. One of the white ships seemed to understand the intentions of the black ship. He was trying to cover one of the moons with his huge body, trying to protect it from destruction with deadly weapons. Apparently, he was trying to protect the planet from falling fragments of the moon. But the white ships were defeated. Suddenly, a column of light crashed down on me from above, right inside this mural. They were mental images. I saw giant humanoid creatures, many I cannot count. They were located in a green valley on the banks of a stream. The valley was surrounded by rocky mountains with black cave mouths, and people came out of the caves to the giant aliens, cavemen, primitive people. It was a paleocontact that happened millions of years ago. In a fragmentary way, I realized that humanity on this planet, and this was undoubtedly Earth, existed even at the time when the continents were united into a single Pangea. And it was then that these giant creatures from white cone-shaped ships chose our planet, or maybe they created life on it. Next, I was pushed out by a wave of fire from the past mental image. Everything was burning. Mountains, valley, rocks, primitive people and giants. On the clouded horizon, huge boulders fell from the sky to the ground with reflections. Most likely, that destroyed moon. In the blue haze, I saw how the giants were trying to hide people in caves, protect them and try to save them. Small shuttles, loaded to the brim with primitive people, were flying up to the sky. During takeoff, people fell out of the open hemispheres. The giant pilots cried and screamed, but there was nothing they could do. They were powerless before what happened. I felt a slight bump, and my head rang. I found myself in front of the mural again, in front of the wall with the image. My palm was lying on a convex planet and 2 moons. I pulled my hand away and touched it again, but the images didn't come back. My legs were weak and I felt weak. I just sat on the floor in a long hallway and tried to come to my senses. Imperceptibly, I fell asleep. I do not know how long I slept, but my body was numb. It was cold. Probably more than a few hours. The mental images tired me out, literally devoured all my energy. I was hungry and thirsty, but I didn't see anything around that could satisfy my hunger and thirst. It was an alien ship which I found myself on somehow. But this ship was destroyed at the very moment when, by a terrible coincidence, I was on it. Fear fought with despair, but it was necessary to move forward. There was a noise in my head, and it seemed as if I could hear some words in the distance, as if the barely perceptible squeak of a radio broadcast. Louder and louder, but I couldn't make out the specific words. I put my hand on the wall with frescoes and unknown writings and decided to go ahead, leading my hand through the frescoes. The palm felt the convex images. The next dip in the floor was more natural. I was still walking along the corridor, but the stone or polymer floor began to change. I was walking through the grass of a huge valley. Fresh, clean air was hitting my lungs. I was not used to this and coughed. Under the pre-thunderstorm sky, the gently sloping dome spheres in front of the mountain range could be seen in the distance. I realized that these were mountains from a previous vision, the same ones with caves from which people came to the aliens. Most likely the aliens have built hemispheres of their shelters, dwellings and laboratories nearby. My gaze seemed to pierce the dome of the hemisphere. I saw a laboratory where giants were conducting experiments on an ape-like creature. Compared to the giants, the creature seemed like a child. The ape man grinned, rushed at the giants, tried to free himself, but was firmly held by some force fields. The creature was fixed on a white panel. Some preparations were being made. And suddenly, rays of light cut through the walls of the room towards the panel, and the ape man, shimmering like a rainbow. Like a mysterious, strange radiation, it enveloped the beast's body, calming it down. The grin was replaced by a calm expression of the muzzle. The look became more meaningful. According to my knowledge and guesses, I realized that this was how the giants created intelligent life on Earth, the first people, by influencing monkeys with some kind of radiation, changing mental functions. Then, apparently, after many generations, the body also changed. The vision disappeared but was immediately replaced by another one. It wasn't a cave, but rather a dungeon. The grotto littered with the half-decomposed corpses of cavemen. I felt a terrible stench clogging my nostrils. I almost threw up, but I restrained myself. The vision was very natural. Perched on a mountain of corpses was an insect-like creature with long mandibles and jagged paws, a bulging segmented belly and huge yellow eyes. The creature grabbed the corpse and began to tear it apart with its mandibles. In the next vision, I saw the remains of this creature divided and fragmented, with giants in armored suits walking over the remains. My ears were filled with the strong roar of an explosion. Underground grottos, the habitats of predatory insectoids, were filled with raging waves of fire. And then I realized that neither humans nor giants were the first to inhabit our planet. Before us, it belonged to these insect-like creatures. If you think that this is not proof of the existence of aliens, then you are right. There is much more evidence, and on our channel we will reveal all the secrets and evidence of their presence. Share this video on your social networks because you need maximum publicity. And also subscribe to the channel and send me your stories related to aliens by email. You will find contacts in the About the Channel section. So if I haven't answered you, then I'm still checking on you because the special services of all countries have announced a hunt for me. But together, we will force the authorities to disclose all the information they have. After all, people should know the truth.